So what's up YouTube, what's up everyone, hope you're well today wherever you are. So generally this video is for people who have always been aspiring to come to Africa. Probably you're a person, you feel like you're not appreciated wherever you are. You feel like everything is going fast in your life, and sometimes you did take a break to to reflect everything which is going on in your life. And I think that the perfect place for you to come to is Africa. And it's inspired by this story about this woman. I want you to hear this story, and then I'll tell you something special after that story, because the main purpose for creating this channel was to integrate Africans and African Americans and everyone in the African diaspora. So if you're probably a person who always had a dream of coming to Africa, I feel like this video is for you, and you need to watch it and listen to it keenly. You'll get encouraged, and it's totally important for everyone who wants to come to Africa. So let's watch the video, and I'll tell you the good news after the video.
So yes, it's happening. I'm moving to Africa, and I'm moving next week. These are some of the belongings I'm taking, just 10 boxes out of the entire house. So I'm also simplifying my life and, looking for things that really matter. And it's been a journey, one of its kind, and I can't wait. And yes, I just wanted to share the news with you. And I also want to let you know that for that reason, I'm going to lead one of my last live sessions this year. And the topic will be, for all of you who are interested, making money in Africa, the top 10 hidden trends. And that is going to happen on Thursday. So you'll find the link below. And if you've missed the free web class and the free live training, then you will always find a replay, after we had the live session. But for now, I want to share a few thoughts with you of why I decided to move to Africa. And I have to confess, these thoughts were recorded last year in Kenya, and for some reason I never shared them. But now the time is right. So I hope to see you in the web class. And yes, it's time for a new chapter.
Hi dear Africa Business Jumpstarters, this is Dr. Harnet, your Africa Business Trainer, online and offline. And yes, I have come to the end of the journey of my big East African trip. I've been traveling through Tanzania, Kenya and Rwanda for the last 7 weeks. It was mainly all about business, getting to know the countries in regards to their opportunities, regulations and ways you can come in to do business in. However, I've just come to my favorite hotel here in Nairobi. I love the yard and the backyard where I can have just a quiet break, and I used that time to reflect a little bit before my flight is going to depart at just shortly before midnight. And one thing that I wanted to actually share with you is that I truly believe it is something very, very special to be able to engage with Africa and to contribute towards the development of this continent and the amazing people of this continent. One thing I always realize is that whenever I step out in Africa, straight away I lift up, my spirit lifts up, my heart opens. I kind of expand, while when I'm in the West, everything is kind of contracted. And so whenever I'm here, I feel so much more alive. And I really truly believe that it is the kind of the atmosphere and the spirit. We have the cradle of humankind here in Africa. And I truly believe that there's a certain spirit that you can only get here. And for me, and I know it's so true for so many of you, it allows me to really feel alive. Some of you right now, you may run the 9 to 5 rat race, or you may have a good job and really not feel fulfilled in it. Maybe you have even thought of moving to Africa, or you're just wondering, is there not more to life? And I truly believe if you're seeking for something meaningful, for something that makes you feel alive, for something that will allow you to leave a legacy to your family or your community, I truly believe you will find it here in Africa. It doesn't necessarily mean that you have to relocate, but start a business, start a project, start some kind of contribution, and it will be so welcomed here. People will notice you, people will be grateful. And that's another thing. Whenever I'm in the West, I kind of, I vanish in the invisibility. It is difficult to kind of be noticed in the West, and with that I don't really mean like being up there and people notice you. I don't mean it in any vain manner. I mean, you're so replaceable in the West, and people don't really see you or don't really care if you're there or not. That's at least the kind of vibe I feel when I'm in the West, and it could be a very, very subjective kind of feeling. But guess what? I was actually born in Europe, and I felt like that from a very early age, and I think that's why I kind of focused from a very early age everything that I did, from my masters to my studies to my work, my community, everything I focused on Eritrea, because Eritrea gave me that feeling alive, that feeling loved, that warmth, that feeling visible, and you're contributing something. I'm very grateful to that I was able to expand that to the entire continent. So I've experienced that it doesn't really matter where I am. It could be Ghana or Kenya or Rwanda. I still feel the same spirit. And yes, so the question is, what are we still doing in the West? I'm asking myself that question. And yes, I believe that we actually have to self-reflect in regards to how happy we are in our life, how fulfilled we are, and maybe something else is calling us, maybe something else is calling you. And we only have this one life to live, and it's up to us what kind of decisions we make. We can contribute towards Africa's development and find a very meaningful project, life project here, even without relocating. If you think like, oh yes, but my partner, my spouse, my children, they, because of them I can't really move. I get that, and that's, that's your decision as well. But yes, let us come together and do things that are meaningful. Who cares about the cars in your garage, or how many designer clothes you have in your cupboard? Seriously, the moment death is approaching, nothing of that counts. Nothing of that counts. But what does count are the kind of connections you have created, how many souls you have touched, and how you have contributed to the betterment of your community and humanity. I have a lot of hope in Africa, despite the many, many challenges we have. And talking about challenges, I'm surely not someone who is painting a rosy picture, although some of you say that sometimes in my comment section. I come from a country, Eritrea, where the number of problems and sufferings is endless. I know exactly what kind of challenges Africa has. But it is also about seeing the opportunities, seeing the visionaries, seeing those who are marching forward, seeing those who are ambitious and courageous enough to deciding to change things. And in my case now, that's also the Africa business space. I have amazing hope because looking at the new generation of African entrepreneurs and businesses, oh my God, I can see so much positive in that. These are people who, care about the betterment of Africa. They care at large about transparency, accountability, about social responsibility, environmental responsibility, and giving back to the communities. That is the Africa business space at large. and it is a beautiful space to be in. And frankly, if you're not in it, you're missing out. You're connecting to so many amazing people who are visionaries, go-getters. They're people of courage. They're innovators. And it is amazing to share the space and share the goals with such amazing people. So yeah, who are the people you're surrounded with is another question. Or maybe you're someone walking it all alone. But let me tell you, once you step into the Africa business space, or just even the Africa space, you could be working on a social project, a community project. It is so rewarding. And suddenly it's not about you anymore. It's about the greater picture. And I think really that's what we are all about as human beings, the greater picture. We've been taught to get the car and the house and then be happy ever after. And I think most of us have realized that this is not it. It's about contribution. Yes, I think maybe I'm talking too much right now, but these are the kind of thoughts that are going through my head and have been going through me for a long time actually. And yeah, maybe I can touch or stir your soul a little bit if you are not quite sure what to do, or if you feel empty or unfulfilled despite the great paycheck maybe that's coming in. I believe there is a lot to be found here in Africa. Let's not disregard that. We're blessed to be children of this continent. This is Dr. Harnett, and I'll see you soon.
So, believe me or not, I probably believe that you're moved by this story. And we all have our own reasons for leaving the places that we live to migrate to other places. And Africa has always be a special place, and will always be a special place to African Americans, or to people who want to reconnect with their motherland. And I'm talking about those people who are tired of being in the United States. I'm talking to people who are always tired, like feeling like a ghost in the United States, because you're a person who don't feel appreciated. You're a person who is taken for granted. And you need a place where people values gratitude. Well, I'll tell you that Africa, people really, really values gratitude. And it's a place, it's not all about even getting the gratitude or, the gratification of being told that, oh, thank you for this, thank you for that. You'll find your time to reconnect as a person. Probably you're a person who wants to invest in Africa. It will take you, it will take you time to understand what you want to do in Africa specifically, but just having the power to get the transition from the United States to Africa, I believe that will be the best move that you've ever done in your life. And as I've said earlier, it's not all about, the gratification that you'll get that, oh, thank you for coming to the motherland. I mean, you'll find that time to reflect on the things that you've been doing about your life. And I'm talking about the nature, I'm talking about the communities in Africa. I'm talking about the new connections that you're going to build while you're coming in Africa. I'm talking about the friendships that you're going to build while you're coming to Africa. I'm talking about the family that you're going to meet while you'll come to Africa. So there are a lot of things which are still in your basket that are waiting for you to tap in while you come to Africa. The new connections that you're going to make, the most important things. And I know such kind of content, it's for a given age of people, probably 30, 40s, 45, 50s, 60s. People who have already maybe built their wealth and they feel like they need to retire somewhere. So Africa will always offer the best opportunity to you. And it's not even that. Reconnecting to your motherland, this is one thing which is important. And you saw the sister talked about she felt relieved, because when you come to your motherland, it like nature just opens for you, and you feel like you're relaxed, and you feel like you're open, you feel like you're just relaxed, and everything is just fine with you. You're talking to everyone, people are just happy with you, no one is having a problem with you. So with that time, you feel like you're reconnecting, and you feel like you're finding the missing pieces that you ever wanted to get them. So the place where you'll get them, it is in Africa. Well, I understand it is not everyone who gets the missing pieces in Africa. And probably I've heard a couple of people saying that they've come to Africa and they've lived. And one thing that I'll say is this: most of people come to Africa, but their choice of country. Remember, Africa has 54 countries. So it's upon you to choose the country that you'll feel safer. And this calls for the research that you'll do before just coming to Africa. Remember, you're not just coming to Africa, you're coming to an African country. As I've said, Africa has 54 countries. So choose wisely. But again, the most important things is the life reflections that you'll be having, because probably you're at your 50s, and the businesses that you're going to build, the connections that you're going to build, and just everything in life that you're going to build, it's going to be important. And look, you're going to touch lives. You're going to create new opportunities for yourself. Because I believe when a person says thank you in your life, because in the United States, when you've always felt like a ghost, when you've always felt ignored, when you come to Africa, it is the little things. When you touch the arts of Africans, I think they'll never forget you. And it's not even just about giving back to the community. It's about, while you're doing this, you're reconnecting to your motherland, you're reconnecting to people. And that's the most important thing. The reflections of life, the mistakes that you did while in your youth. And you'll ask yourself a lot of things, because it reaches an age where you want to reflect about the things that you did in life. And you need a peaceful place like Africa. You need a peaceful place where you can come and, just relax. Don't think about work. Just relax. Maybe you're very invested in Africa. You're only waking up in the morning, running some social programs, maybe visiting schools, community, children, and such kind of things returns back your mind to humanity. And it's easier for you to do this in Africa, to achieve this in Africa, because as I've said, in Africa, it is the little thing that matters for people who are in Africa. And I've seen a couple of people come in Africa, do great things, and they've left a mark in the art of Africans. The young children that they did this to them, and it is important. And the topmost thing which I'll leave you with, it is that you will find peace. You'll find peace because of the greatest connections that you make, because of the chilling environment that you have. Talk about the waters, the sound of the wind, the trees, the ocean, the rivers that you'll see, and everything. Just that enough will give you peace. Maybe you'll come to learn things about African food, and you'll realize that African foods are way cooler, and there is less consumption of GMO, which will change your life, will change your metabolism, which will change a lot of things in you. Spirituality, it is where you'll feel you are so connected when you're a spiritual person, for instance, and you're coming to Africa, you will feel so connected because of these nature, and I vet for you. Africa is the good place for you. So if you're a person who is afraid, maybe you're 70 years old, maybe you're 60 years old, maybe you're 50 years old, and you think that maybe you are old to do so, I'll say that it is never too late for anyone. You can come, and everything is possible, provided that you are open-minded, provided that you have that open mind, provided that you have opened your heart, you've opened your mind, you have opened your soul to come and thrive in Africa. You are ready to take the problems that we Africans are still having, the obstacles that we're still facing as as an African nation, and the geopolitical things which are happening around us. If you are ready to deal with that, if you are ready to accept that Africa is your place, then trust me, you will get a peaceful life. The remaining the rest of your life will be so calm, will be so peaceful. And with that, thank you guys for watching this video. Thank you so much. I do appreciate you. And for those who are always sending me the super thanks, I also appreciate that. Thank you so much for those who are always supporting my channel. If you're watching this video for the first time, kindly consider subscribing to my channel. And I'll remind you, the main purpose for me creating this video was to integrate Africans and African Americans. And another way is to encourage them to come back to their motherland. And I feel like I'm obligated to tell you to come back to your motherland. So I take this chance to always tell you to come back to your motherland, because I think it is important, because I think you should come back to your motherland. United States is not a safer place for you, especially for 50s, 60s and above, 45, and where you want peace, where you don't want chaos, where there are not a lot of things. You are always advised to come to Africa. I've said much. And now with that, thank you to Dr. Harnett for the direct transition that she did. She has changed a lot of lives in Africa, and she is an entrepreneur, and she's doing much, and she's doing a lot. So with that, see you in my next video. Until then, peace, love and harmony. Salute.